I'm so happy to talk to Eugina Jordan today. Eugina, tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do.
Thank you, Stephanie, so very much for having me here. My story started in 1970 in communist Russia. And today, 50 some years later, I'm the chief marketing officer for one of the most prominent industry organizations in telecom, which is TIP. And the reason I'm saying it's because it doesn't matter where you're born, what you look like, what you sound like. The only person that can limit you is you. And when I tell my story, I go a little bit further in explaining, because that's actually the tagline behind my book, which is called Unlimited. I was a single mother at one point. I was in an abusive marriage. I don't have a marketing degree. I have a master's degree in teaching, and I have a computer undergrad. I'm not an engineer, and I have 12 patents for 5G and Open RAN. So my story is an example that when person knows that they can achieve anything, it doesn't matter where they're born. It doesn't matter that they grew up in communist Russia. It doesn't matter that they were single mother at some point in their life. What matters is they know they deserve a seat at the.
Eugina, thank you for telling us about you. Tell us a little bit more and how you got to where you are today, because your story started in a different place on this beautiful Mother Earth, and now you live in America. You have a super job. Tell us more how you got there.
So when I was growing up, obviously when we grow up, when we're little kids, we want to change the world. So I came to a realization that I'm ordinary early on. So, and I realized the only way I can change the world for the better is by one-on-one, connecting one-on-one. And that's how I did it. So I found mentors and sponsors early on. When I moved from Russia to Canada, I had a wonderful mentor, this fresh off the boat Russian girl. And 30 years later, we are still friends. She's actually coming to visit me here in Myrtle Beach, and we're planning a wonderful get together. So believing in yourself, it's number one. Number two is finding the right mentors. And also in my telecom career, I started as a receptionist, but there was one person that saw fire in my belly, that saw my capabilities, that saw my drive and desire and ability to learn and growth mindset, and obviously hard work. And he became my sponsor. It was the CEO of the startup where I worked. And I mailed him my book a couple of months ago, and I got the most amazing, and I'm going to cry, I'm sorry, the most amazing WhatsApp message when that CEO said that the decision we made when you moved from my executive assistant, my chief of staff, into marketing was the right decision, not just for you and me, but for the markets, companies, and people you were able to impact in the last 17 years. So this is how I did it.
Amazing.
Believing in myself, finding the right sponsors, and now giving back.
Eugina, first of all, tears are always welcome. And I think, this is a women's community, and we feel you, we hear you, and we love when we have feelings and we're able to sit with them and we're able to share them, because your story is very personal, but it's also universal. And so when we share our stories, so many other women see themselves in our stories. And that's why we're here, to inspire and motivate and help and support other women on that journey. So thank you for telling your story so beautifully. Eugina, what do you think is your main motivator going forwards? You have absolutely transformed your life. You've done incredibly well. Tell us what your main motivator is.
So you're welcome. You're welcome. And it's so, you said it so beautifully, because so many women, we have to fight through imposter syndrome. And that's why when he sent me that message, I remembered joining that company, not knowing who I was and figuring it out, and him helping me to fight through that imposter syndrome. And that's why it's, if I can help one woman that hears this, watches this video, hears me, you are amazing, because you are talented and we believe in you and you can do it, and just push through. And that's my purpose. My purpose in life right now, and with writing the book, is to make sure that women that want to, they realize their full potential. If they want to start their own business, if they want to grow in corporate America, climb the ladder, or whatever country it is, I want to give them the tools with my book, or we're going to start mentorship program at the organization I work at. That's my purpose, is to make sure that we change the face of leadership.
Eugina, so tell us more about your book, Unlimited.
Thank you. So it's been published in June, and I have a, proof. That's why it says it's available on Amazon. And I still can't believe that, I'm holding it in my hands. It's been such a journey, motivation, and I poured my heart, my soul in it. And seeing all the reviews and getting emails and WhatsApps from people saying that they read my book and they now know they can be unlimited. They're not going to hold themselves back. And the book is built in 3 parts. And the first part is the hardest part. It's titled Control Your Own Destiny. Stephanie, we're our worst critics. We don't have self-compassion or self-motivation. We always are kind to others. We always have negative thoughts going in our head. We're always triggered by our past. And that's what's holding us back. So what I tell sometimes myself is the way I grew up, very poor in communist Russia, not being able to speak, cannot limit me. Because if I allow my past or the negative thoughts to control me, then I won't be able to realize my full potential. So in the first part of my book, I talk about how underrepresented individuals in the workplace can control their destiny. It's the law of self-awareness, the law of self-awareness, the law of negotiation, the law of finding our voice. There's a story that I love telling about a lady from China, and it's a very similar upbringing in communist China and communist Russia. We believe that we need to work hard and the work is going to speak for ourselves. But Stephanie, that doesn't happen, right? We need to speak on behalf of ourselves. And that lady, she's been living in the United States for almost 30 years. In the first 15 years of her career, because she wasn't speaking up for herself, she got promoted once when she changed company. In the last 15 years of her career, she got promoted 4 times within the same company. because she was speaking up. So, and it is important. And that's why it's the biggest part of the book, giving people the tools how they can control their own destiny. And the second part talks about a village. You know, Stephanie, it takes a village for people like us to become successful. You need to find the right community. You need to build your network. You need to be able to talk about your accomplishments with your sponsors and mentors. And the way women network is very different than men do. We don't go golfing. We don't go drinking. We don't buddy. What we do really well as women, our superpower is building connections and helping one another. And once women understand that that's their superpower, there's nothing wrong with the way we network as women. They can build amazing networks. I build this way an amazing network of women. And my tagline when I reach out to them or when I comment on their LinkedIn post or support their businesses is when women support one another, magic.
Yes, and that happens all the time. And Eugina, what would you say are your top qualities? What is it that you have that makes you good at all the areas where you put your energy?
Probably three things. Number one is courage. And I always tell myself, if I don't do it, I might regret it. And it's scary. It's super scary. Asking for a promotion and not getting it. And it happened to me. So I asked for a promotion. I wasn't given a promotion. I channeled my efforts elsewhere. So it's not the end. If when you ask, it's a no. Have the courage to do it. Have the courage to ask. It all it takes is one step. So I think the second quality is integrity. And integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching. So, and it's hard because but I always bring the shopping cart back to its stall. It's though no one is watching, you bring the shopping cart back. And you treat everyone with integrity. You don't assume negative things about people because no one wakes up in the morning and they say, oh, I'm gonna, just be mean to Eugina or anyone else that doesn't look like me. So just seeing good in people and integrity in every single human I meet. And I think the last one is giving back and celebrating everyone's win, because I think it's abundance mindset. There's this wonderful book that I love, The Sum of Us, it talks about drain pool mentality in the US by Heather McGee. And the drain pool mentality is in the 60s when African Americans were allowed to go and use public pools. The white communities decided to drain them. So they decided that no one is going to have pools. And that's drain pool mentality. So I believe if another woman wins, if another person wins, they have a new book that is a bestseller, they got a promotion at work. When one of us wins, we all win. So abundance mindset and celebrating one another, I think that's my quality as well. And I celebrate loudly.
That's what we want. That's what we're here for. Eugina, what are you most proud of?
So I'm a mom, I'm a professional. I'm an author, I'm a marketer, I'm a wife, I'm a dog mom. But I think my biggest accomplishment is my son. So you see his little picture right behind there. So he started college this year, and I'm so proud of a wonderful human being, giving, caring, driven, kind that he's become. And the reason he is my biggest accomplishment and not the book and not the 12 patents and not the movement I started in telecom industry, because he can impact so many more humans and make a bigger impact. So I multiplied myself and my son, and he's going to go out there and make this world a better place.
Eugina, thank you for saying that so beautifully. That's very inspirational. Eugina, what top tips would you give to someone, a woman who's just arrived? She's an immigrant like you and she's starting out. She feels she doesn't belong. What would your tips be for her?
I hear you. I feel you, because in 1995, I was that girl that moved from Russia to Canada. And I wish someone told me one thing, that you belong, you deserve, and why not you?
Beautiful. Thank you, Eugina. Eugina, so what are your plans, your goals, your dreams for your future? What's in store for you?
So I hope that Eugina, at the age of 70, 20 years from now, is going to be very proud of Eugina today. So all I'm doing today is making my future self proud. And the goals are at work, with Tip as a chief marketing officer, to make sure we get involved with our members, we help them drive their innovations. For my book, I hope I get to do a TED talk about the laws in my book one day. That's my hope. I know, I know. And I also hope that I still find the time, I do find the time, I will find the time to impact more women like me and bring more diversity voices in my industry. And that's why I'm working with TIP Diversity Committee to launch a mentorship program in 2024, because my motto is I might be the first one at the table, but I cannot be the last one.
I think that is a wonderful ending, Eugina. Thank you so much for telling your beautiful story for us today.
Thank you, Stephanie, for having me.